The Metro East Sports Podcast is proudly presented by Little Caesars. Famous for its hot and ready pizza and delicious crazy bread, Little Caesars has been named Best Value in America for the past 12 years. Little Caesars products are made with quality ingredients like fresh, never frozen, mozzarella and Munster cheese, and sauce made from fresh-packed, vine-ripened, California crushed tomatoes. Treat your family to some delicious Little Caesars pizza in Alton, Glen Carbon, Troy, Collinsville, Shiloh, or Granite City today.
Get ready for the award-winning #1 sports podcast on our side of the river. It's time for the Metro East Sports Podcast.
From the Front Office Wealth Strategies studio in beautiful, warm Edwardsville, welcome to the Metro East Sports Podcast, talking all things sports in the Metro East, season number 6, show number 6, recorded Monday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. I am David Light. Tonight's show features Brooke Clace, Mascouda Volleyball head coach, with Grace Mack and Kinsey Reese. They are the 3A MESPY winners for 3A girls volleyball team of the year. They're going to be in here last. Number 2, we're going to have Brian Scobie from East St. Louis. He is an athletic director there along with Mr. Sunka, but Brian Scobie is going to be here today. And guest number 1, we are going to talk Gallatin Awards back again this year. Again, Bill Roseberry and Steve Porter. And thanks to partners Cassens, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Callaway Home Loans, Keller Williams Marquis, the Blasting Game Group, Integrity Spine and Joint Center, Front Office, Fiduciary Network, Oakbrook Golf Club, Viviano Heating and Air Conditioning, Played Again Sports, Edwardsville, and Snap Mobile. And I'm going to beg you for 3 things before we talk Gallatin Awards. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast. It's free and you love it. Number 2, follow us in all of our social media platforms on X, Facebook, and of course, the Gram. And number 3, if you have a story idea, email me, please, at mespdave@gmail.com. And don't forget to nominate your favorite team for Integrity Spine and Joint Center Metro East Team of the Month. Could be a park and rec team, could be a middle school team, a high school team. You get to decide. To nominate a team for Team of the Month, send your suggestion to mespdave@gmail.com. Please put Team of the Month in the subject line. Man, I meant to have some Irish music queued up. I feel like I should get some Van Morrison or something like that.
You look good with the green on, Dave.
Well, I didn't want to get pinched at school today, so I wore some green. I didn't want to get picked on by the mean kids. Nobody's pinching me. Welcome back, Mr. Porter. Good to see you.
Great to see you, and good to have Bill here, and we got lots to talk about in a short period of time.
Welcome, Mr. Bill.
I know it's been a while. I think the last time I was on was with Jonathan Denny last year.
Okay.
After he'd spoke at our last banquet.
Always good to see you, Bill. You were an original founding member of the podcast, so I always love having you on the show. It's always good to see you. So welcome back.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a while. 5 years.
Yeah.
It was February of 2020.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, and then by May of 2020, I wasn't a sports writer anymore.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, there's a lot to talk about. We're going to get to the Gallatin Awards, but first, I think the biggest story on the sports landscape right now in the Metro East, especially in terms of basketball, Steve, is the Cougars making the NCAA tournament for the first time ever.
In Division I, in D2 they went to the Elite 8 one, but D1 this is the first time. They're going out to Wichita and play the Houston Cougars. So the Cougars against the Cougars on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Houston's a big favorite, but in basketball you never know. That's why you play the games.
You do never know. But at this point, has it already been a major success for Brian Baroni, Rayshawn Taylor, and the Cougars?
Oh, of course. First, Rayshawn, the all-time career scoring leader at SIUE, and in my mind, and I've seen SIUE basketball since the first year in 1967-68, Rayshawn is the best all-around player that they've ever had.
He's number one all time.
He's number one all time.
The best.
The best. He can do everything. and became the all-time leading scorer in the championship game when they beat Southeast Missouri at Evansville. And Brian's done a fantastic job winning the OVC tournament title. After losing to SEMO twice, SIU came back, beat him in the championship game. And everywhere I go around the area, especially in Edwardsville, people are excited about the Cougars. It's a first-time thing.
People are definitely fired up. Let's stay with Rayshawn for just a second. Is he an NBA prospect?
I think he's more of a European prospect because they, although you never know. I mean, part of the deal with Rayshawn was he's survived a couple of injuries, and he's really played well despite those injuries. So you never know. He's got a lot of drive, he's got a lot of heart, and he can play. So I would never say never with him, but my guess would be that he winds up playing overseas somewhere. I hope he makes the NBA. You never know.
Was it 2 or 3 ACL tears he had?
At least 2. And
I was thinking it was.
He might have had 3, and then it was
both knees.
Yeah, both.
He said both knees.
Yeah, and he had a COVID year in there too. And,
right.
What a recruit, and a local kid from Collinsville. So
such a great kid. I mean, I remember we dealt a lot with him. We're talking about February of 2020. We started, the Metro East Sports Podcast, and Rayshawn was the big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going down and getting sound bites from him for the podcast, and I was really impressed with his, basketball IQ and just how smart of an individual he is. And I think that's what's made him that's those smarts and that hard work. I mean, he's become so. I mean, I knew he was going to be good at SIU, but he's far surpassed what I thought he did.
Well, he can do everything.
Yeah.
Besides scoring, he's a good passer. He's a good defender. He knows the game. He's a good rebounder. He on a lower level, he has done for SIUE what John Morant did for Murray State.
Right.
He sort of carried the program. And if you're going to do well during the season and even do well in the tournament, you got to have that one guy that's going to carry you.
Well, Morant obviously has had
a
lot of success at the NBA level. He's that level of player, and that's what made me think this, because Morant's a former OVC Player of the Year
at Murray State.
So then I look at Rayshawn, and he's OVC Player of the Year. So I think, why not? I think obviously his health is a risk, the way his knees are right now.
Sure,
but I wouldn't be shocked if he got drafted. I'll put it to you that way.
Or I wouldn't be shocked even if he didn't get drafted that he made a team.
Yep, signed a free agent contract and started in the D League or something and came up. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I wouldn't count him out for anything. He's proved to all of us,
and to come back from
how great he is
from
of
injuries like
human being and a player. Right.
I mean, a lot
the
of
drive.
A lot of people would say, I'm done. I can't come back from all that.
Yeah, and the 2 injuries, and then in overcoming all the stuff through COVID too. He lost a lot of his senior year in high school to that, and then his freshman year at college. I mean, he's overcame a lot. He's dealt with a lot in his high school and college career, and he's come out on top through all of it.
And we're all hoping that Brian Baroni doesn't get offered the Duke job or the Kentucky job or the Louisville job, because it would be tough to keep him down here in Cougar country if he got some huge job. So you're happy for Baroni, but at the same time, you're kind of like holding your breath to make sure he stays, because with both he and Sam on the girls' side, young coaches building programs, and in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, if these guys have success, are they going to still be here in 3 years, 2 years?
If you have success as a mid-major, you're likely sometime to go on to be a major. Just
sure.
The guy at Drake this year, his first year, and they won the Missouri Valley. He was at Northwest Missouri for a long time, won some D2 national championships. He's been at Drake 1 year, and he's already getting mentioned as a possibility of being hired at Iowa or Indiana or Minnesota. So that's if you do well at a mid-major, you've got a good chance of moving up.
All right, let's talk. Let me pay a couple bills here, and then I want to talk about the high school scene. Then we're going to talk Gallatin Awards. Okay, it's springtime in the Metro East, which means one day it's hot and the next day it's cold. But no matter what the temperature, Viviano Heating and Air Conditioning has your emergency calls and maintenance services covered. Viviano is a family-owned and operated company proudly serving the Metro East for over 30 years. Viviano provides quality heating and cooling services, including repairs, installation, and maintenance. Looking for a new furnace or an AC unit? Need emergency service or maintenance? What are you waiting for? Call to schedule a service appointment with Viviano today at 618-345-7498 or visit them online at vivianoair.com. And since 2014, Snap Mobile has supported athletic and activity programs nationwide with reliable fundraising and administrative solutions. Snap Mobile has helped schools and coaches raise nearly $1 billion for their teams. I always want to say that like Austin, $1 billion.
Billion.
Anyway, they've raised nearly $1 billion for their teams. Former Belleville East coach and athletic director Jim Loyette is your local Snap Mobile rep. And so if you're a coach or you're an AD or if you're even a parent looking for a 100% hassle-free way to raise funds for a team, group, or organization, give Jim a call at 618-910-1781. I've personally worked with Snap Mobile, and I'm sold on the process, the professionalism, and the results. All right, let's talk high school.
Good.
High school local. What big stories?
For me, recently, and we were just talking about SIUE, this was a great day personally for me. I went to Normal to watch the Alton girls bring home a third-place state trophy, my high school alma mater. Yeah.
Good for them.
And that was the first state basketball trophy the school had ever won. Then I drive home, and I get to turn on the TV, and I get to watch my college alma mater punch their ticket to the big dance. It's a pretty big day in basketball for me. But
and a big day for SIUE because that Alton team features Kyoko Proctor, who is committed to the Cougars for next year for Coach Sam.
She'll be great there. She will. Kind of out of the same ilk as Rayshawn. She's coming back from an ACL injury, and she's just so smart. Her basketball IQ is off the chart. It's going to be almost impossible for Alton to replace what she brings just as her basketball IQ and her floor vision and everything. I think Kyoko's one of the best players ever to come out of the Riverbend for sure, but out of this Metro East here, she's going to go down as one of the better, female players to come out of here, I believe.
Yeah, and when you think of girls basketball in general from Southwestern Illinois, Nashville wins in 2A.
Yeah.
Carrollton gets second in 1A. Alton gets third in 4A. So we had a first, second, and third out of 4 classes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I stuck around and watched the Carrollton game after that Alton game too. And that first half, they played really well. I was really impressed with the Flowers girls, both of them. And I'm going to butcher, what was it? Pocatonica or whatever. It's up by Rockford. That's who won in
That's good
1A.
enough for me.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't Pocahontas.
Yeah. I think it's like Pecatonica or something like that. It was their first time going to state, and they won. Man, they were really good. In the second half, they just pulled away from Carrollton. But, yeah, Carrollton, that was a fun game to watch, too. And man, there was the entire town of Carrollton was there, I think.
Yeah.
So,
now, the guys was interesting because 3 of the 4 champions were academy teams. Hope Academy in 1, Lyle Bennett in 4, and
Bennett is a legit school, though. It's not just
right.
I mean, Bennett Academy is a private school,
right?
But it's not like
a fake academy.
Yeah, well, it's not like IMG Academy, which is sports centric. Let's put it that way.
Right. But it is academy, and 3 of the 4 won. Chicago DePaul Academy was the other one, and then I guess Diet from Chicago, so she won 2A overall tough. So all 4 champions and boys were from Chicagoland.
It would have been interesting to see Altoff win One, it would have been nice to see Greg Lieb get a second state title. And have you met Greg?
Yeah,
awesome guy.
He's been on
awesome
the show.
guy. Yeah, and but also if Althoff would have won that, they would have been the first team, I think, since Carlisle in 88-89 to win football and basketball in the same year.
Well, they already won soccer also,
Yeah.
so they've really had a heck of a year there at Althoff. Okay, and on the boys' side also, don't forget Edwardsville had a tremendous year.
Oh, they did a great year.
They had a fantastic year. I think Coach Battis really got the most out of his crew. Fantastic year. But then Dylan Dudley, Coach Dudley at Alton, had a great playoff plan for them, and his boys executed, and he had a great win in the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw 2 of the 3 Alton-Edwardsville games. I didn't see the first one at Alton, but I was at the game at Edwardsville and then the playoff game, and man, what great basketball games.
Yeah,
both of them.
Three outstanding games.
You know, I mean, and couple guys there. You know, you got Samaj Stampley on the Alton side, who's just going to be this was just his junior year, and then you had Herb Martin on the Edwardsville side. They both kind of come from pretty good basketball families there. You know, Samaj's great uncle is Leroy Stampley, I would think Steve would probably say is arguably the best player ever to come out of Alton High. As a basketball player.
One of them, yes.
One of them
Leroy,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, he was 1976, and he was a Gallatin Player of the Year, and
played at Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, played at Loyola Chicago. Yeah, he was a really great player. And then, of course, I didn't know this, actually. You probably know this by now, but Herb is Brandon Hogg's nephew.
Yep,
I did not know that until here recently. I saw Brandon share something on Facebook I didn't even know. So these guys had some good basketball blood in them.
Some pedigree.
Yeah, and they showed it. I was really impressed with Herb. Samaj, I knew how great he was. I mean, I think for me personally, you know, I came into high school at Alton the year after Kevin Caldwell graduated, so I look at the Alton guys that I grew up through, which is guys like, you know, Kevon Lacey and Ruben Cotto, and, you know, even going back Marlon Crawford and Rory Fox and Jared Ramsey, all those guys, and I think Samaj is probably the best. I talked to Kevon, and I was messing with him. I said, because Samaj broke 1,000 points this year, and Kevon only had 1499 as the all-time leading scorer at Alton High, and I was messing with him at that Edwardsville game. I said, I think your all-time record is in jeopardy here, buddy. And he looked at me, and he got real serious, and his dad was with him, and he's like, I said when I saw Samaj at Metro Sports, or Metro or Nautilus in Alton when he was about 10 or 11 years old, that's the guy that's going to break my scoring record. And his dad goes, he did say that back then. So Kevon was already recognizing how good Samaj was going to be back then. So we got another year of him. So if you haven't got out to see Samaj Stampley, make sure you get a chance to go check him out.
And Kevon has a daughter on the girls team, and he's the head coach at Lewis and Clark Community College now. So
so
plenty of basketball in that family.
Let's talk about the Gallatin Awards coming up here pretty quickly. And the Gallatin Awards, of course, recognize the best male and female basketball players in the Riverbend area. You're talking Bethalto, Roxana, Wood River, Alton Marquette. Have I left anybody out? Is that everybody?
That's all five.
Five schools, yeah.
So those 5 schools, you recognize the best male and the best female basketball player. You have a great banquet, a great event honoring the late, great Harry Gallatin. So this year, the event is going to be this Sunday.
Yep.
This Sunday night. And it is quite possible that we have mentioned the names of some prominently to be awarded folks on Sunday. I know you're not going to give that away, and I don't blame you for that. But you give away Player of the Year, male and female, and you tell us some of the other awards that are distinctive to your event.
Well, there's the 110% award. And then there's a free throw reward, and then there's a team sportsmanship award. So the free throw award, they have to have a minimum of 50 free throw shots to be available for that. And then the team sportsmanship, like I said, is a whole team award. Now, the 110% and the MVP, which leads to the Player of the Year, those are nominated by the coaches. So we get the names, and then we have 11 people that vote on those to decide who's going to win those awards. But every one of those kids, even the ones that don't win a big trophy, are going to get a plaque for being that representative for their school.
Being nominated.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep.
Recognize the nominees. And if people want to know more about the Gallatin Awards, where can they find out more?
Right now we got our Facebook page. It's a Gallatin Awards. It's a Facebook group page.
Gallatin.
Correct. Yeah, and there's I created an event for Sunday night, and you can see how to get tickets. It's going to start at 6 p.m. at Julia's Banquet Center in East Alton, and it's $25 to come and just watch the banquet. Our keynote speaker is going to be Kramer Soderberg. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's currently the head coach at Milliken. He was a standout player at Lindenwood University and also at St. Charles West, was it? Yeah, that's what I thought. St. Charles West, he's a 3-time All-State player. And his dad is Brad Soderberg, who used to be the head coach at SLU and at Lindenwood. And now what is he, head assistant at Virginia, correct?
I think he's at Virginia, yeah.
Yep. So Kramer comes highly regarded. Big thanks to Steve Medford for helping make that connection for us. And Steve Medford and Tim Lawrence both bring him highly regarded. I've seen him speak, and he does a good job. He's also he's written a book, and he's big into the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, I know, and he's written some stuff on that. So he'll do a great job that night.
One other thing to mention: varsity players and coaches get in free.
Yep,
that's when we have our trivia night and raise money for that to pay for their meals, and tickets for all others, friends or family or anybody that just wants to come are $25, and they'll be sold at the door. So you don't have to worry about getting your tickets ahead of time. You can get them at the door.
Cash, check, or we also have Venmo and PayPal. Unfortunately, we can't take credit cards.
Okay, well, varsity players get in for free. What if I played 9th grade basketball at Granite City in 1984? Do I get anything for that?
You just
I probably got to pay double.
I find it hard to believe you played 9th grade basketball, Dave.
I played 9th grade basketball when I was in 12th grade.
Yeah. Was Waldo coaching?
Waldo was the JV coach.
Yeah.
Waldo was the cool young JV coach at Granite City when I played in 9th grade.
Wow. I can see why you went into tennis.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you what, Van Buskirk told me in 8th grade when I played for him, someone needs to teach you how to jump. I took that as my cue to focus on tennis moving forward.
They made a movie about that. White men can't jump.
Yeah.
So.
Now, did he teach you to play tennis? John was a real good tennis player.
Yeah, he was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was that's my guy.
One other thing too, and one other award, and we'll go ahead and kind of put this out there. We have a service award we started when our committee took over the Gallatin Awards in 2018, and we started giving out the service award. Last year we gave it to John Simmons, and we've renamed it the John Simmons Award because John was so integral in helping this stay around. And we have we'll go ahead and make the announcement of who's winning that award. Because I'll be presenting it to this person on Sunday, and he's
awesome.
He's in this room.
Really,
Steve Porter. Yeah,
thank you.
That?
Very well deserved.
Well, I'm humbled and honored, and I just hope I don't have to make a long speech because I know Bill will.
Yeah, this will be the second time I've got to present Steve something. I got to do his induction speech when he went into the Alton High Sports Hall of Fame. Also introduced him there.
Really?
And this is my 51st year of being involved in this organization.
Yep.
And my last. I'm retiring.
Yeah.
And
you are?
Yes, I'm retiring from the Gallatin Awards. 51 years. And people say, well, that's a long time you've been involved with something, 51 years. And I say, yeah, but I wasn't involved in it for 27 years because it's 78 years old. So 51 minus, with the 27 before that, that's a long time. This award, this dinner's been going on.
Yeah, it's older than the NBA.
1946.
Yep.
Well, thanks for your service. on everything you've done to promote basketball and the Gallatin Awards. Steve, you're obviously an icon locally, a Hall of Fame member, and it's always good to have you on the show. Just because you retire from the Gallatin Awards doesn't mean you have to be a stranger around these parts. I appreciate your
I'll be
your
here.
wit and your humor. Nobody else thinks you're funny, but I think you're hilarious. How about that?
That's why I always come on your show, Dave, because you're my hero.
You're the only person that laughs at him anymore. I've heard him all the time.
I think he's funny. I guess maybe we're dad joke-ish, but anyway. All right, Bill Roseberry, thanks so much for coming by.
Yep.
Good luck with the Gallatin Awards.
Thank
Steve
you.
Porter, congratulations on your continued long, illustrious career.
You going to be there Sunday?
And the award. I am 95%. I told Steve there may be a circumstance that I have to attend, but I'm 95% sure I'm going to be there.
And let me just say, I understand why he's stepping down, but I'm not happy about it. I don't want to lose him. So this guy's a legend.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, Dave.